start. Yeah, now it's 11 o'clock by the Ukrainian time and 10 o'clock by the Brussels time. So dear participants, dear colleagues, today we have rather big international events organized by the EU and Ukraine Consortium for discussing the main issues and problems in medical sector and pharma industry. Also, it's a great possibility to present the main directions, problems, needs in the case of humanitarian support. The war has increased the needs of healthcare while reducing the system ability to provide services, particularly in areas of active conflict. Now, Ukraine has a lot of questions and problems in this sector: destroyed buildings, problems with raw materials for manufacturing, certification of medicines. The war has led to grave humanitarian crisis with the main people in need, including those who have fled across borders and many more who are on the move inside of the country or unable to leave towns or their cities. The main goal of our event is to increase cooperation between medical and pharma sector industry in Europe and Ukraine. Together, representative of different state organizations, international funds, representative of the European and Ukrainian SMEs for looking for new partners, suppliers, and distributors, discussing the new trends and challenges which faced the Ukrainian SME of pharma industry in the war period, discussing problems in supply of raw materials, establishing better communication and cooperation between Ukrainian and European partners. So I think that we can start our discussions, and I want to give the floor for welcome remarks to Alexey Yeremenko, Deputy Minister of Health of Ukraine for European integration. Please take your floor.
Good morning. Thank you, Olga. Dear colleagues, dear participants of the event, I'm grateful for this opportunity to take part in the meeting, and it's nice to see so many friends today. I want to begin my speech by thanking those who support Ukraine in this difficult time, those who provide humanitarian aid, those who care about refugees who were forced to leave Ukraine and fleeing the horrors of war. Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine since 24th February triggered a catastrophic health crisis. It's already led to a massive loss of lives, injuries, and trauma among innocent people. According to the UN, the human cost has already amounted to almost 4,000 people being killed and 5,000 being injured. Among them, several hundred children, with actual figures to be believed considerably higher. As a result of this barbaric aggression, millions of Ukrainians have been put on the brink of survival. Vulnerable groups, women, children, elderly, people with disabilities bear this health emergency. The Russia deliberate shelling destructures life-saving health services, including treatment of chronic conditions and disputed essential medicine supplies chain, severely restricting access to medicine. Russian invaders identify healthcare as the enemy. It's targeted hospitals, maternity, and other health facilities, and lots of ambulances. There have been more than 248 attacks on healthcare verified by WHO since the start of the war, which left 75 people killed and 39 wounded. Russian forces have destroyed already more than 105 and damaged more than 500 healthcare facilities. It's caused huge disruption to primary care, screening and vaccination campaign, and efforts to tackle non-communicable diseases such as cancer, diabetes, and chronic infection disease such as HIV and tuberculosis and other serious conditions. Living under constant shelling in the climate of fear has taken a toll on Ukrainian mental health. Long-term impact of psychiatric morbidity and other forms of mental health problems are so huge that I needed additional assessment. Currently, one of the key problems is the delivery of medicines into temporary occupied areas, where Russia is blocking to establish humanitarian corridor. Ukraine's economy has significantly heavy losses, and we really need support from different large number of medicine and medical products, equipment, ambulances, including armored ones. To be more correct, I want to talk about some critical needs, and this include military and civilians medical and armored evacuation car to provide medical care to Ukrainian defenders and civilians. Emergency medical care, who are the first to go on call and pick up wounded in the front regions of Ukraine, needed a bulletproof vest and helmets. Ukrainian defense and medics have individual tactical first aid kits in accordance with NATO standards. Some critical medical equipment like portable X-ray machine is needed for diagnostic within the admission department and critical ill preparedness. Ukrainian healthcare facilities need such equipment to provide medical care to the wounded and injured. External fixation devices are mental structures made of specially allowed to use, collect and fix bones fragments in case of injury. In addition, Ministry of Health regularly updates the priority list of medicine and medical equipment that are needed as humanitarian support and request. But I believe all of you have it already. In the current and projected threats of national security and national interest, we want and we are ready to work to increase level of organization, information, personnel, technical, technological, and other resources needed of the healthcare system for equal access to timely, quality, and safe medical care. And I believe that pharma industry plays a huge role in this. Thank you for your attention, and I wish a good event today.
Thank you. Thank you a lot. Thank you a lot, Mr. Deputy Minister, for your presentation and the time to participate in our event. It's rather important for us just to give all the information regarding our needs, regarding the needs of Ukrainian people, regarding the needs of our medical sphere and the pharma industry right now, because it's one of the main sector of economy that now we need to support. So as we know that the European Union, the first partner of Ukraine who supports us not only in humanitarian needs, but also in economic aspects. And I want to invite for speech Mr. Hans Das, Director responsible for Emergency Management and Rescue, European Commission Directorate for European Civil Protection and Humanitarian Aid Operation. Please, Mr. Hans Das, take the floor. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Minister. Thank you very much, Olga. Good morning, colleagues. First of all, many thanks for the invitation and for organizing this event, which is indeed very important and very dear to what we're trying to do at EU level. As you know, the EU is fully committed to help Ukraine in this very challenging period. We're standing by Ukraine. We're trying to help in all ways possible, and we will continue to do so for as long as necessary. And for that, we're using all of the instruments we have at our disposal. On my side, that is in particular the civil protection mechanism and the humanitarian aid funding that we can provide to partners. Massive assistance has been provided through both instruments already, the civil protection mechanism and our humanitarian aid funding tools. And I'll use the next few minutes to give a short overview of what we're doing, starting, of course, with the humanitarian situation, as the minister already outlined it. I think it's clear to all that the Russian military aggression against Ukraine has led to a very dire and tragic humanitarian situation, with almost 25% of the country's population displaced or fled. massive humanitarian needs in different parts of the country. In many regions, there's very limited access to food, problems of access to safe and clean drinking water, lack of access to basic medical care. Diseases are spreading. You've certainly also heard the recent reports about possible cholera outbreaks in Mariupol. Although the scale of that is not yet very clear. And as Minister Yaramenko mentioned, what is very strange and surprising about this, this conflict is the fact that Russia seems to be deliberately, not seems to be, but is deliberately targeting healthcare facilities. The minister has mentioned the amounts of over 269, I believe, already verified cases of attacks on healthcare, which is of course exacerbating the medical situation and the medical needs across the country. And I must say, having such a high number of verified attacks on healthcare facilities is unprecedented in my experience. I have never seen this in any other conflict in the recent past. So we're obviously trying to help Ukraine as much as we can, and we're doing that first and foremost through the civil protection mechanism. That is a framework for cooperation between all member states in the response to major crises. So whenever there is a major crisis, the affected country can make a request for assistance. We will then coordinate the response to that request for assistance, the response from all of our member states, and we will facilitate the logistics of that, the transport. We will try and make sure there is a fully coordinated approach. We do that through a crisis center in the European Commission. It's called the ERCC, the Emergency Response Coordination Center, which is a 24/7 crisis center that we run in DG ECHO. So even before the war started, Ukraine had already approached the ERCC with a request for all sorts of assistance. And since then, we have positioned the ERCC as the hub at the European level where all of the requests from Ukraine are consolidated. So here we're getting all of the requests for assistance covering the medical area, but also agricultural needs, energy needs, etc., etc. We bring all of that together and we liaise with our member states. One of the main difficulties, of course, is the logistics of this. To bring assistance into Ukraine is difficult right now. And for that reason, we have set up 3 logistical hubs close to Ukraine, just on the European side. So there's one in Poland, there's one in Romania, and there is one in Slovakia. We finance the transport of all of our member states' assistance to these hubs and from these hubs onwards, basically. So where are we overall in terms of providing support? So far, over 30 countries, and so 27 EU member states and 3 participating countries. These are Turkey, Norway, and the Republic of North Macedonia. These countries have provided and continue to provide assistance to Ukraine. So far, we have provided over 37,000 tons of different types of equipment, from ambulances to firefighting trucks to all sorts of medicines, medical equipment, protection equipment, etc., etc. Specifically in relation to medical needs, we are receiving the requests from the Ukrainian Ministry of Health. So far, we have received 23 updated requests for assistance. These cover things like medicines, medical disposables, such as first aid kits, medical equipment, such as ventilators, patient monitors, and laboratory materials. Also personal protective equipment and, as I mentioned, vehicles, ambulances, and all sorts of equipment for medevac. On top of that, we're also receiving from Ukraine requests related to chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear emergencies. We obviously need to be prepared for all scenarios in this conflict. So in response to these 23 requests, we have provided, our member states have provided so far over 187 million medical items. Some of them are very small, some of them are bigger. So this comes from our member states primarily. That includes, for instance, 160 ambulances that have been delivered so far, but also a lot of medical equipment like ventilators or patient monitors, and of course, a lot of medicines. On top of that, we have decided to mobilize RescEU. RescEU is the European Union's strategic reserve. This is something that we develop and finance for the purposes of the EU and the EU member states. But very early in this war, the decision has been made to make the EU strategic reserve also available to Ukraine and to a certain extent to Moldova. So on a number of occasions, we have mobilized medical equipment from that strategic reserve that we have developed. So again, ventilators, patient monitors, and a lot of personal protective equipment. Also important to mention is that we have set up a specific initiative for the private sector, for companies, to encourage companies to make large-scale donations of medical medicines and medical items and Cbrn-related assistance to Ukraine. And we think this is very important, and we think this has to be continued and further developed. So basically, we have a very simple system where companies can offer all sorts of medicines or medical equipment to Ukraine. There is an email address, a functional email address that has been created for that. I will put it in the chat afterwards. Where companies can provide offers. The ERCC will then verify these offers, see whether they correspond to the needs expressed by Ukraine. And in many cases, that is, of course, the case. We will then get in touch with the company. There is a donation agreement to be signed, and there is a warehouse in Belgium where these items are collected. And from there on, we then ensure the logistics. We're also working very much on Medevac. We understand that the Ukrainian health system is very much under pressure. We understand that the preference from the Ukrainian side is to treat patients as much as possible within the country, and we think that's a very good approach. But it's also very clear that there will be a need to add to that medical care outside the European Union and to have the possibility to transport patients, either chronically ill or war-injured patients, to hospitals in Europe. So we have set up a Medevac system at European level. We're doing that together with our health colleagues in DG Sante. And together we have identified up to 15,000 hospital beds across the EU in different member states that are in principle available to receive Ukrainian patients. We have also set up a transport system, so with dedicated specialized Medevac aircraft and with close cooperation with Poland, Romania, and Moldova. And so basically, patients that are identified by the Ukrainian health authorities as eligible for Medevac are moved towards a military hospital in Lviv. Then from Lviv, they are moved towards the Polish border. And then from an airport close to the Polish border, they are transported to hospitals across the EU. So far, we have completed Medevac operations for 529 Ukrainian patients, and they have gone to 13 different countries, that is 12 member states and Norway, basically. Just to finish up, I know I'm taking too long, but I'll be very brief. Just to finish off, we're also providing significant amounts of humanitarian aid funding to implementing partners. So this is basically the UN family, the Red Cross, and international NGOs. It's, for instance, worth mentioning that we are currently funding the World Health Organization with 9 million euros for an integrated health response in Ukraine. That includes a number of different activities, from strengthening coordination for the health response to emergency medical care to public health response, infection prevention and control. There are other ECHO-funded partners delivering health assistance. These include, for instance, UNICEF, ICRC, PUI is an important partner, People in Need, also Caritas, UNFPA, and others. So all of these organizations are using ECHO funding to provide support in Ukraine, including in the most difficult areas. For instance, the World Health Organization has already delivered over 500 metric tons of medical supplies. It might be more in the meantime, with very large convoys going also to the east. Médecins du Monde have with ECHO financial support, done several shipments of medical commodities to hospitals in various parts of the country. Just to quote two examples, there's many, many more of these. Also to mention that we have set up an EU warehouse in Vinnytsia in Ukraine, where international humanitarian partners can, on a cost-free basis, bring supplies. We realize that logistics is also within the country a major bottleneck, and that's why the European Commission wanted to take action itself here. So we have set up a warehouse which is available free of any cost to humanitarian partners. That includes cooling facilities for medicines, etc., and a local distribution transport system. I will leave it at that. I just want to reiterate that the needs are enormous. The EU is fully ready to support, but we do think that the private sector also has a role to play. And so events like this can certainly be very, very helpful in spreading that message. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you a lot. Thank you a lot, Mr. Hondas. I'm sure that support of the European Union, and with the support of the European Union, we will be stronger for our common difficulties. Thank you for your participation. It's a great pleasure for us. Thank you a lot. So I propose to open the next session in our meeting and discuss the projects and programs and perspectives for supporting civilians and business in Ukraine. And for a small presentation, I want to invite Ms. Anna Lubima, head of the International Cooperation Department of the Ukrainian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, who has engaged in the process of humanitarian support of Ukrainians and also supporting our business in such difficult period. Anna was the person whose initiative creation of the International Assistance Headquarters for Ukrainians, now supporting a lot of different regions with products, goods, and medicines. Anna, please take your floor. Thank you. Thank you for the participation.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting. Dear honorable guests, dear organizers, dear ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for inviting us to this important conference. And I would like to share my experience and to share experience of the Ukrainian Chamber of Commerce and Industry in supporting Ukraine nowadays. As Ukrainian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, we feel responsible to the business community of Ukraine and understand that we have the strengths and real passion to create new opportunities and basis for the development of entrepreneurship and business in Ukraine. That is why from the first days of Russian aggression, the UCCI has provided comprehensive support to domestic business, as well as coordinate the work of the entire system of regional chambers. But now it's not just about business. Social responsibility of non-governmental and private organizations is now a driving force and one of the weapons on the humanitarian front. The UCCI acts as a partner, co-founder, and coordinator of several charitable organizations and funds. But the international headquarters assistance for Ukrainians was the most active in cooperation with the UCCI. And since I am directly related to its work, I would like to share my personal experience. Using such tools of interaction with foreign partners as business councils, as representatives of the Ukrainian Chamber of Commerce and Industry abroad, we, as well as a network of international organization of partners of the Ukrainian Chamber, we are moving towards strengthening Ukraine, and therefore, in order to strengthen support for Ukraine at the international level, we address to our partners, Euro chambers, International Chamber of Commerce, and now we start to realize twinning program aimed to reconstruct regions of Ukraine and support civilians. We sincerely thank the companies that not only continue their work, but also direct additional effort to help the armed forces and territorial defense units, doctors, and the people. We are proud that the Ukrainian Chamber of Commerce and Industry members companies actively support the country during the war as well. As the humanitarian situation in Ukraine continues to deteriorate, we understand that we should be active and continue our work. And now I would like to share my experience as co-organizer of international headquarters assistance to Ukrainians. It was established in partnership with the Ukrainian Chamber and cooperating with international organizations, representatives of the UCCI abroad, and we have already attracted aid to Ukraine worth about 30 million euros. And approximately 2,000 trucks up to 30,000 tons in total were received by headquarters. And what are our assisting organizations? It is international foundations, private organizations, government agencies, diplomatic missions, Ukrainian diaspora, representatives of the UCCI abroad, business clubs, Rotary clubs, etc. And totally 41 countries whose organizations have provided humanitarian assistance to Ukraine. And not only humanitarian aid, like direct requests, and we have some projects. For example, 1,000 cars of freedom. We complete each car with necessary equipment, including tactical first aid kits in accordance with NATO standards. So therefore, we will be sincerely grateful for the possible help of our honorable guests, foreign companies that can transfer this equipment. We have established a clear system and procedure for applying for assistance and reporting on its receipt. They created a reporting table. It's a Google table, but it's real works. Available to donors, and which creates a trust and basis for further cooperation with foreign partners in the transfer of humanitarian aid. We have built a logistics system. 7 warehouses have been operating since the establishment of the headquarters, and notably 2 ones force abroad. But now we optimize it to 4 major hubs in Lviv, in Kyiv, and 2 additional in Uzhhorod and Dnipro. And more than 100 volunteers works at these logistics hubs. An algorithm for receiving and providing humanitarian aid, border crossing procedure, and registration of humanitarian aid has been developed. Templates of agreements on humanitarian aid, logistic organization, process of logistic were developed, and humanitarian aid was delivered to all regions, and 772 regional requests proceeded. Especially, we delivered this assistance to hospitals, to armed forces, to state border guard services, national police of Ukraine. We cooperate close with the Ministry of Healthcare of Ukraine. So as for medical sector in particular, we also provided such assistance like ambulances, clothing for doctors, various medicines and equipment. And at present, there is a need for drugs to reduce blood pressure, drugs and medicine for diabetics, as well some specific requests. And as I mentioned, our project 1000 Cars of Freedom, we need this tactical kits. Like to finalize, we sincerely thank all the partners and continue to work for the benefit of Ukraine. And now we need the support of the international community more than ever. This war is not only Ukraine's war against Russia, but also the struggle for a free, democratic Europe and a civilized world. Critical financial, humanitarian assistance and strategic reconstruction aid are essential just to help regions and civilians to survive in this modern-day apocalypse. And the whole world is interested in ending the war. Now it is necessary to take important, sensible, rational steps that will stop the Russian military machine. They must be made on time, which means immediate. Thank you so much. Wish you a good conference.
Thank you. Thank you a lot. Thank you a lot. It's a really great deal that you did and that you provide us with this information. Thank you a lot. I think that, yes, each day we have the more and more requests regarding from the side of the administration, local authorities for humanitarian needs. And now I want to present the next the next organization who wants to participate, who need to participate our meeting. Today we have a lot of medical organizations supporting Ukrainians with the medical needs. Since the conflict, the Red Cross distribute more than 2 tons of emergency aid, including food, bedding, tents, water, and hygiene items to all regions in Ukraine. Also, I want to ask representatives of the Red Cross give us some information regarding their activities in Ukraine. Please take your floor.
Dear colleagues, dear partners, today we are here with Nadia, who is responsible for first aid from the Red Cross in Ukraine, and me, I am coordinating health and care department of National Committee of Red Cross in Ukraine. So now our organization is closer and closer to the needs of medical services and health protection in Ukraine. In 2021, we started large-scale project devoted to community-based health education. It was stimulated by growth of pandemic of COVID, but now, unfortunately, we have frozen that project because we have now priorities predicted by the war. And there are 2 priorities. One priority is primary health care in Ukraine. What does it mean? Now we are in the process of creation of new product of Red Cross. It means mobile medical teams. Mobile medical teams are special divisions of Red Cross, which are trying to reinforce, to support activities of primary healthcare centers in Ukraine, ambulatories and centers for primary healthcare. What does it mean? It means that there are 2 cases when we are coming with our aids. One case is villages destroyed by the war, where people have limited access to medical services, and our brigades comes. They are working under the governing of primary health care, and they are mobile, very well equipped, and can do effective medical treatment to population which has limited access to medicines and to diagnostics. Another situation are quiet regions, but with high concentration of population of IDPs. There is another kind of crisis in that places, lack of resources of primary health care. There we organize fixed health units and mobile health units. Both products are intended to do primary health care to needed population. So in the nearest future, we expect to have about 40 units actively rolling in Ukraine. Now, I would like to invite my colleague Nadia, who will
I have very short information about first aid. For Ukrainian Red Cross continue teach population first aid skills and knowledge. We know that it's very important now. So during last 3 months, we teach most 56,000 people on Ukraine, and we try give everyone to first aid kits, and we hope that it's help in the future. Protect and help if they need themselves or another people. And we have new program, online education, and now we have new Telegram channel, and most 600 people now can watch this education video. So we continue our education program for and give skills, first aid skills, population in Ukraine. Thank you.
Thank you a lot. Thank you a lot for participation. I think that it's a great deal that we have the support, not only in the food, not only in the goods, but also in knowledge, in some opportunities, in some actions. So thank you a lot. And now I want to ask you to see the chat. The chat Hans does his status of the information regarding the European Commission has launched initiative to encourage large-scale medical donation from private sectors companies. Please, you can use this information just to communicate, to cooperate with this initiative. So, and the next part, I want to ask Olena Fisenko, our consortium coordinator, to give the information regarding EN activities in such difficult time for Ukraine. And I want to say about something about EN. The EN Ukraine Consortium was organized in 2014 and operates in Ukraine till now. From that time, the EN Ukraine Consortium supporting more than 20,000 organizations, companies, SMEs, private companies with different services for internationalization, business development, transfer of technologies, and stimulation of innovation activities. Ms. Olena, please take the floor and give us some information. What are you doing for supporting our companies in such difficult time?
Dear colleagues, very pleasure to be today on such a very interesting and very important event. And I will provide general information about our consortium. And a little bit, I will provide information about our last activities and our plans for the future. Let me to share the screen for one moment. As you maybe know, our consortium acts in Ukraine about last 5 years. My name is Vasenko Olena, and I'm coordinator of EI and Ukraine Consortium. My expertise in the field of internationalization means support export-import, scale-up companies, and help innovation management for providing support Ukrainian SME to be more innovative and more ambition on a single market now. A little bit information about Enterprise Europe Network. What is it? It is the biggest European network which covers more than 65 countries and united more than 300 experts in more than 600 organizations. So it's a very powerful instrument for international cooperation. And we invite Ukrainian companies to use this instrument. Our consortium works in Ukraine during last 5 years. Now we goes for another next EIN communication, and now we start to work in the frame of new Enterprise Europe Network. We have password all instruments, and we can provide you all sector of Enterprise Europe Network services for international cooperation. What is the main activities and the main goals of our consortium? It's stimulation on international trade between Ukraine and Europe. Import-export, it is innovation cooperation. Stimulation of innovation activities of Ukrainian companies, and providing information, practice, advice on the international market. Our consortium works in Ukraine during the last 5 years. We have a very strong team, and we now have very good communication with other international consortium in the world. We, during the last 5 years, built very strong communication with Enterprise Europe Network Consortium in different countries of the world, and now we have very close cooperation and a very big database. Here you can see some slides about our last events last year, and about brokerage event, company mission, information event, trainings, and etc. Our consortium always have very active position. All of these years, our consortium achieved all planned KPIs. Some of them we made even more in times than it was planned. As you can see from the slide, from year to year, EI and Ukraine Consortium became stronger. Our clients' database became bigger, and our indicators increased. For example, we were in the 4th place among all 65 the network consortium of the world in number of profiles for SMEs, small and medium enterprises. These profiles with requests and offers were published in the network system. Each year, we organize and co-organize with other partners of the network more than 100 events. Also, we helped organize more than 2,000 face-to-face meetings per year for Ukrainian and European SMEs. Our consortium always have very proactive position. And as a result, last year, our EI and Ukraine Consortium was selected in the semi-final of the Client Journal Award with a successful story about solar gaps. Also, it was very pleasure for us to be a finalist of Special Recognition Award. We win this award, and we took the first place during annual EIN conference in Stuttgart, in Germany, last year. And, here you can see some slides about it. But then our life has changed radically in one moment, and not only our life, but the life of all Ukraine. And on 24 February 2022, Russia launched a bloody war in Ukraine. And yes, of course, our activities also a little bit changes. And we try to support Ukrainian business and innovation organization in the situation which we have now. A little bit about our activities. Now maybe you know, but Enterprise Europe Network now changed the platform. And that's why we have to register all our clients and all profiles in new Enterprise Europe Network platform. It's the next platform, but now we have more tools for support Ukrainian SME. That's why we invite SME, innovation organization and startups to cooperate with us, and we can help you to find the international partners abroad. We can provide you information about international events. We can promote your products on international market. Here you can see that only for 1 month in April, we transfer about 40 profiles from old database to new database. And now we also help to provide a very big campaign. It's cooperate with Ukraine. Even this event, it's the first event in our promotion campaign, cooperate with Ukraine. Now we have medical event, but in the future we plan to organize similar events which help Ukrainian SME in different sectors to cooperate with international partners. To provide more support for Ukrainian SME and Ukrainian SME, we also created an Ukraine Foundation, which can help not only SME, but can help Ukrainian people too, especially now for children too. How Ukraine Consortium can help you? We can help you to make profile about your products and service. We can help you to enter on single market. We can help you to promote your company on European single market. We can help you to find international partner. It can be business, technology, innovation partner, and etc. Also, EIN, it is a very big database of proposition for cooperation on international market. And EIN, this database of events, each year, each day or each weeks, we have a lot of events in different regions of Europe, and not only in Europe, but in such countries as USA, Canada, China, and others. As I explained you, we can provide you different type of service. We can divide them on 3 main categories. It is international partnerships, it's advisory support, and it is access to financing. We can consult how to find financing in such a time, wartime we have now in Ukraine. Also, we have a very good platform for communication and for matchmaking. That's why we organize a lot of international events and help Ukrainian SME and innovation organization to find a partner abroad. Also, we have tools for support innovation. And now we started new campaign. It's cooperate with Ukraine, which will have several different events on different sector of economy, with the main goal to increase cooperation between Ukrainian SME and innovation organization and European in different regions of Europe and Ukraine. Today we have the first event. It's cooperate with Ukraine medical and pharma sector. But in 1 week we plan another event. It's cooperate with Ukraine, the supply chain resilience matchmaking event for Ukrainian and European SMEs. Registration for this event is still open. We have a lot companies which already had registered on this event, more than 100 companies. We plan to select 10 Ukrainian and 10 European companies, which will have opportunity to promote their companies on international level and to promote their services or products. So I invite you to pay attention and to take part in this event too. The next event which we plan, one moment, something happened, I can put in slide. It's cooperate with Ukraine building and construction industry. It's a very hot topic now in Ukraine, and you will have opportunity to register it on international platform with much and to find a partner which is specialized in building on reconstruction industry or companies. Also, we have a very interesting event. It is cooperate with Ukraine fashion and textile. We already closed registration of this event and selected 6 Ukrainian fashion and design companies, which will take place in Torino Fashion Week. It will be offline event, and now we are develop very big promotion campaign and show, a design show in Turin, and we'll have opportunity to see it in the future, in coming weeks. Also, we plan start and innovation organization startup campaign. More information you will receive soon. And in autumn, it will be 2 events on agriculture and food sectors, organic and food sectors too. Also, our EU and Ukraine Consortium help to implement. First one, it's a platform which was developed by our Lithuanian partners. This is the supply chain resilience platform, and it's very important for us that more than 80 Ukrainian companies are registered already on this platform, and now it's new products which we developed together with European Commission. It is EU-Ukraine Solidarity platform, which is focused on agriculture sector of Ukraine. This platform new. It was launched only last week, and now already had registered more than 50 companies over the world. And I invite Ukrainian SME, which works in Ukrainian agriculture sector and food sector, to pay attention to this platform and to register on this platform, because it is a very powerful instrument for find partner for logistics, and I invite you to take part in it. Thank you for cooperation, and I wanted to tell that unity is a very powerful instrument. Let's unite, make our cooperation more stronger, and help Ukraine. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you a lot. Thank you a lot, Elena. And I want to mention that DN Ukraine support not only agricultural companies, we support all companies, all business sectors. And sorry, a few minutes. I want to ask that our next speaker asked us to put him in, and I think that the organizer will help me. Please, the next speaker need to enter our conference. Organizer, put him in, please. So I want to say that nowadays clusters play a great role in development of business activity, market internationalization, and creation of favorable conditions for promotion and doing business. Also in Ukraine, operating Ukrainian Cluster Alliance for supporting our Ukrainian companies. And European Cluster Collaboration Platform is the initiative of the European Commission that provides opportunities using the online platform for supporting the emergence of new value change through cross-sectoral cooperation, assessing the latest information on cluster developments, improving the performance and increase their as well as their members' competitiveness, develop and promote collaboration worldwide, searching for potential partners, expanding businesses. Today, Ukraine is on the focus, and one of the main directions supporting Ukraine and Ukrainians in their needs was created the forum for supporting humanitarian needs. I kindly ask Mr. Krzysztof Krystowski, President of the Silesian Aviation Cluster, provides our participants with the information regarding EU Cluster Alliance and its activities, and present the ECP forum that provides support for Ukrainian with humanitarian needs. Please, Mr. Krystowski, take your floor. Hello.
Hello, good morning. Thank you for invitation for this very important meeting. I'm happy to present here the information about our forum and about our activity to support Ukraine. As Olga said, we have established the forum in the beginning of March, maybe it was middle of March, quite soon after this Russian attack on Ukraine. And the forum is to link people from European cluster community with our partners in Ukraine. I am proud to work together with my fantastic Ukrainian colleagues, with Olga Shubina, with Olena Fesenko, with Olga Timofeeva, with Alexander Yurchak. So I have a strong group of people from Ukrainian side, and they are working every day to collect needs from Ukraine, to inform about those needs our European partners. From the other side of the team, I have group of clusters from European Union. As just to tell you that I am also Vice President of European Cluster Alliance, which is the organization of all European clusters. We are representing clusters from we could say all European countries, but to our association belongs cluster from more than 20 countries, but not from all European members. So what we are doing now, we are trying to match those needs which came from Ukraine with offers from Europe, and we are focused not only on specific, because today meeting is devoted to cooperation in medical sector. But what we are doing, we are open for coordination of help in every potential sectors. Medical sector is one of the most important from them. It is obvious because of humanitarian needs. But slightly week by week, our cooperation is moving towards more industrial and business cooperation than only humanitarian. We started from this humanitarian needs, but what we observe is that Ukrainian the one of important need of Ukrainian colleagues, Ukrainian friends, is to continue sustainable business, not only to receive humanitarian aid, which was the most important element of our activity at the beginning, let's say March, even April, but now we see that what is very important is to find a partnership between Ukrainian companies and European partners. So the meeting we are participating today is one of those to connect people from both sides of Ukrainian borders with Ukrainians with European partners. What is for me now important also to use this opportunity to promote the forum, and please you can find the forum on the website, which is called clustercollaboration.eu. And if you go into this website, you can find easily the banner of the EU clusters support Ukraine. And then if you click on this banner, you can, if you register yourself, you can participate in the forum, and you can register, you can inform about your needs. And please don't hesitate to do it. And not only to inform about, once again, this humanitarian needs, but also typical industrial opportunities for cooperation. We have, till now, we have organized additionally to the forum some meetings similar to this one in which we are participating right now for different sectors. So after those meetings, we know that there is a lot of connections and a lot of pending cooperation between companies, because our goal is not establish cooperation only between clusters to clusters, but to establish cooperation between companies to companies. And clusters are only, let's say, bridges or the organizations which are helping to organize this cooperation between companies. So this is our role. That's from my side. I'm not going to intervene too long time during the meeting. Please feel invited to cooperate with us. Find us on the website clustercollaboration.eu. Thank you very much. I wish you a fruitful meeting.
Thank you a lot. Thank you, Krzysztof. And I also want to mention that this platform is a rather useful mechanism for the companies who want to relocate their business and to find some new opportunities in EU and to find new partners. And I think that the cluster collaboration platform, it's a good mechanism to work with the European partners to establish new relations and to promote your business. Please, I think that it's rather, I want to recommend you to use this fora and to use not only this fora and to use this platform, for business development. So we are slowly moving for the next section that is closely connected with the SMEs and business development and companies. And I want to give the floor to Lviv Medical Cluster to describe their vision of challenges and opportunities for business development in such difficult time for Ukraine in the time of war. Please, colleagues, take your floor. Are you here?
Good morning.
Yes. Good morning, Alha.
Good morning, dear colleagues. I congratulate all participants of Medical Forum. And I'm Olga Juman, Director of the Lviv Cluster of Medical Business. And we offer for you a short presentation about activities of our cluster. Так, 1 minute.
So we is a private voluntary organization, Lviv cluster of medical business, is a public non-for-profit organization that units on a voluntary basis, legal entities and individuals, private law on the basis of unity of interest for the implementation of the goals and objectives provided for by this charter. The activities of the private voluntary organization extend to the entire territory of Ukraine. Our mission is Lviv is medical capital of Ukraine. Lviv is the best city for living and business in the country. Vision in our cluster is that the cluster units the majority of medical players in the region, promotes cooperation, efficiency, and professionalism of the medical business. It's a driver of change and innovation in the industry. At the regional level, attracts medical tourists and improves the culture of medical service consumption by local residents, brings the medical industry into the top 3 priority areas of the region. Our goal is the main goal of the pivotal Lviv cluster of medical business is to promote the growth of small and medium businesses in the medical sphere in Lviv and all Ukraine, create effective mechanism aimed at introducing the principle of business ethics and introduce standards, increasing the efficient and professionalism of the medical business. Interaction between market participants and the development of human resource, development of medical tourists, protection of the rights and legitimate interest of the medical business, raising the culture of consumption of medical services and promoting a healthy lifestyle. Here demonstrate the principle of the ethic code of Lviv medical businesses. Respect to people, professionalism and service quality, the health of the patients in the first place, environmental and safety, active social position, development of communities and the region, friendship and positivity, ethics, culture, values, cooperation and collaboration, reliability of information, responsibility for their own action and decision, decent condition for employees, fair competition, openness to innovation and experience, anti-corruption and deception, dialogue with government and the public. Reputation is important for us. Here is constituent meeting of the Lviv cluster of medical business. Cluster activities during the war. Gaps and challenges. Clients refer to the consultants too late and don't respond for too long, up until 1 to 2 pills of art and CT remain. High index of self-stigma and physiological trauma, especially for women who had a negative experience of seeking medical care in Ukraine. The fear of disclosing status to third parties, the host, employers, or volunteer support from Poland. Unreadiness to ask for and accept help, non-acceptance of offered physiological support, the need in support beyond the one crisis counseling session. Infoline counselors are the entry point for crisis physiological support, language barrier, obtaining other treatment regimens, low level of opportunities for social adaptation, finding housing, employment, free resources, language course. People living with disabilities and gay population are accustomed to social support and accompanied on different stage of adaptation. In Poland, there are no social support services in the medical system. Here, partnership with Lviv City Council. As it can be noticed, first aid trainings are conducted. Volunteering humanitarian help, and our partnership with Medical Bridge. Also education program like health quality management, leadership basic, how healthcare works, and health financing systems. Telemedicine through Adamrios, which now quite important. And what we planned partnership during the war, cooperation with medical businesses from other region of Ukraine, business relocation, cooperation with Polish medical cluster, cooperation with the Korean cluster, and cooperation with organizations from around the world. Here you can notice more about the cluster, link to Facebook, and phone number. Thank you all for attending.
Thank you a lot. Thank you a lot. I think it's a great deal. You have a lot of projects. It's rather nice. I understand that you support not only our civilians, not only the products needs, but also your support our organization, our companies. So today we have not only the representative of national clusters, but also our international colleagues participate in this event. We know that today we have support from the side of different organizations, different countries. And I want to ask Portuguese cluster to present their programs for business development and for supporting Ukrainian companies, or maybe to present themselves and their activities. Hi, hello. Hello,
Hi,
Patricia.
good morning. Thank you very much for this invitation. I want to congratulate you also for this event. I think it's a very nice opportunity for us to probably start some collaborations together with your cluster and to foster this intersection between the Ukrainian and the Portuguese health clusters. So I will start by sharing my screen. Just a moment, please. I'm having some trouble here. And a moment. I think you're not seeing the. So you're seeing the full screen now, right?
No, we only the first slide, but not in full
no,
screen.
not in full screen. Okay, so let me just switch. And now?
Nothing to change.
Oh, sorry.
Maybe presentation, slideshow, something like
yes.
this. Yes, this one. And from the first slide. Yes, this one. No, the first one.
Yeah, but it's on presentation mode, or it's with the
you must press reproducer. No, I don't know.
Yeah, but now it's not in presentation mode, right? It's with the notes.
That's good, Elena.
Yeah, sorry, because I just changed the computer.
Oh, now it's okay. No, now it's without your slides.
Just a moment. I'm really sorry for this. I think I will have to just export the file. So I will try to present it without the slides, maybe.
No, it is better. Sorry, it is better with slides. Even if it is not full screens, it's not problem, really. Let's try again. It's normally.
Okay. And wait. Yeah. So can you see the slides right now? Wait, just a moment. Yeah, how about now? Can you see the slides?
Yes, we can slide. You can to push the first mode. Reproducer do in C.
So can you see now? It's not
Yes,
exactly on. Okay, so it's the best I can do. I changed my computer and it's not working properly.
Everything.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. You can
So
start.
the idea of today's presentation is just to give you an overview of our main projects. So as first of all, I will show you some information about the Portuguese health ecosystem. We have more than 230 hospitals, both private and public hospitals. We have more than 30 public universities and also some private universities, more than 60 research and development institutions that are devoted to the research in health, more than 12 clinical academic centers, which develop clinical investigation and bring new medicines to people, and more than 90,000 companies which are devoted to the development of solutions and products in health. And we also have a universal healthcare system, which has been founded in 1979, so which is quite mature health system, which is also important for what I'm going to show you now. So these are just some numbers about our healthcare Portuguese system. This is some indicators on life expectancy at birth, infant mortality rates, which have been growing throughout the last years, and we are now very well positioned in terms of these indicators compared to the OECD average. And this is, of course, something that has also to do with the vigor and the dynamics of the ecosystem that has developed a number of solutions to improve the Portuguese healthcare. Our health exports have also increased a lot during the last decade. So this means that about the pharmaceutical products, medical equipment, and surgical materials health exports. And our main health markets are Germany, the USA, Spain, and France. So at the Health Cluster Portugal, which is a not-for-profit private association, our more than 230 members, which range from universities to hospitals, R&D and companies, are devoted to the development of many projects. And this is what I'm going to show you in a minute. So if you want to know more about these solutions, this is not working because this is not in presentation mode. Let me, yeah, now it's working, I think. So this is a video about one of our resources where you can find the solutions, products, and services of some of them, at least, of the Portuguese health sector. This is one of our online catalogs. You can also use the QR code on the right side of the slide if you want to know more about these organizations, about their products and services. You can use the filters on the left side to choose the company type, the type of product that you want to search for. And maybe this is also useful for some future collaborations with your own companies. But coming back to the activities of the cluster, so these are the 4 main strategic agendas for our cluster at the moment. So we have innovation as one of our main goals to promote collaboration and R&D translation. Also industrialization to promote the cooperation between industries and attract foreign direct investment. The acceleration of the transformation of the digital ecosystem, and also the implementation of value-based healthcare and the facilitation to the access to data. And the first project that I'm about to show you is on value-based healthcare, which is a new and very trendy concept in healthcare, which means to deliver care with the highest impact and that matters most to patients. So we have a project in cataract surgery, which includes more than 10 healthcare providers and has the endorsement of the government and the support of pharmaceutical industry, as you can see here on the slide, to collect the patient-reported outcomes and to provide healthcare that is based on measurable outcomes and not on the volume of services. So this is one of the core projects that we have, and that we are also collaborating with foreign institutions. Actually, in 2021, we have been recognized as an innovation hub by the Global Coalition for Value in Healthcare by the World Economic Forum with this project. Another project that we have is on the on this concept of smart health, to develop a chronic disease management platform, which enables care providers to monitor health and deliver healthcare remotely. And so the data is collected by a number of sensors from different companies that are developing different sensors. And then all this data is gathered in a dashboard so that the clinicians and also the patients can follow their disease progression and have access to their healthcare data and act upon if needed. So this is the example of some of the sensors that these companies are developing as well. Another very important project of our network, of our cluster, is the creation of a digital innovation hub, which is called DigiHealth PT. We have seven members in consortium and more than 30 associate partners to provide services in these 4 areas that you see here on the right side. So we are now part of the National Digital Innovation Hubs network, and we are now applying to the European Digital Innovation Hub network under the Digital Europe program to provide these services and expertise in more than 13 digital skills for health, but mostly focused on artificial intelligence and cybersecurity. So this is just the representation of the members in consortium and our associate partners around it. And I'm almost finishing my presentation just to show you this health data lake project, which is a storage repository which holds vast amounts of data, of raw data for easy access and use. So we are gathering, we're developing these efforts to create a national health data lake, and we are gathering information coming from the hospitals, the pharmacies, the health insurance companies, and the laboratories to use them for secondary use, let's say for research, for procurement models, to improve healthcare, to promote the risk assessment. And these are some examples only. And we are now also integrating European networks to promote this project. We are involved in the European health data space discussion. In 2020, we have submitted this joint declaration with additional 13 other countries within the Scanbout meta-cluster, health data meta-cluster in Europe. This was submitted to the German EU Council presidency as the voice of civil society, and has pointed bottlenecks and also possible solutions for the creation of this common European health data space, mostly focused on these 3 issues: so data privacy, interoperability, and strengthening of European institutions. And just to finish, just to tell you that we'll be present at HIMSS next week with a booth of Health Portugal brand, which is a brand that we are developing, and most likely in Düsseldorf in Germany in November. So this is also opportunities for us to connect and to check for collaborations within the European setting. And I'll leave it with my contacts and our URL healthportugal.com. So if you want to get in touch, we'll surely be available to do it and to promote and foster collaboration also with the Ukrainian health cluster. And thank you very much.
Thank you a lot. Thank you a lot. I think it's a lot of fields for cooperation between Ukrainian clusters and the Portuguese or some other international clusters. And if you can use the chat just to spread your information, to spread your contacts to other participants, just to be in touch with them. I think it's the main goal of our event, just to make communication between companies, our clusters. It's rather important for us. So I think that now we have a rather interesting panel with a presentation of the companies from medical sectors, and this will be the pitch panel. Each participant has from 5 to 10 minutes for their presentation, so we will inform with the time limit, and after we will have a time to answer questions and answer the questions from the participants. So I want to give the first floor to pharmaceutical company Darnica, and I want to mention that this company, one of the strongest company in Ukraine, and today the Darnica gives basic medical product to the Ukrainian military forces and support medical clinics, civilians, and hospitals. Please, Dmitro, take your floor. Thank you for participation.
Thank you very much for having me. I think this is important to give a perspective of Ukrainian pharma business in the given circumstances. And I would like to do my presentation. Just give me a second. Few facts and figures about the company. Darnica is the biggest pharmaceutical company in Ukraine in terms of production capacity and capabilities. Just to give you a perspective, we have a capacity of producing 670 various dosage packages per year. It's a huge number. We have 15 dosage forms, 14 production lines, and we had GMP certified since 2002. The numbers that I'm giving you, it's the numbers from 2021. Later during my presentation, I give you some of the figures of the 2022 during the war. The Ukrainian pharma industry is very dynamic, very competitive. It's highly dynamic and been growing significantly year over year over the last years. We represent, at the same time, it's very fragmented. If you look at that, we being the biggest in terms of volume. We have 14% market share, the same with market value, it's 4% market share. Darnica is well-recognized brand with a total value of 187. It's one of the top 3 brands in the country. And actually during the war, it's been proven that we are committed to our country with a production facility, supplying medical goods, both for military and for the civilians, for hospitals in the very difficult circumstances. We are located in Kyiv. During the whole time of war, we continue to do a production and supply of the necessary products. We continue to do a lot of clinical research in European labs. We do bioequivalence study according to EU standards and FDA standards. We continue to do R&D, and I will later talk about this during the war. And last year, we released more than 20 different products last year, and we continue to release products even now during the wartime. Very broad portfolio with a lot of focus on cardiology, neurology, and pain management, which is extremely important this time in the country. In terms of brands, it's an extremely diverse portfolio. To give you a perspective, we have 180 brands, 366 SKUs across OTC, RX, and consumer products, both liquid, injectables, infusion, which become a very critical during the wartime, topical forms, soft forms, solid dosage forms. And now a few figures, numbers and figures for 2022, the year of war and spike of pandemic at the first 2 months. I would like to start with the fact that Darnica during the wartime received and won loan participated selection. We applied few months before the war and being selected for become a hub by WHO for mRNA technologies tech transfer. So there is a lot of activities going on right now in terms of building mRNA capabilities in Ukraine, and we were looking forward for a partnership with other hubs across the globe. There is 15 places in the world which have been selected, Ukraine one of them, and Darnice is the hub. We received MPP license for Paxlovid from Pfizer, and this project is continued to ongoing. This is a new horizon, new opportunities, etc. In terms of sales volume, we continue to be number one in terms of volume, despite all the risks of the medical supply, of the supply of the API, about the risk of production, continuing production under the sirens and rockets flying over our plant. We continue to do our R&D. We released 4 products during the wartime, and 7 products are coming in June. Among them, this extensive cardiology portfolio, but at the same time, some of the products which are being developed and registered within an extremely short time frame, like potassium iodide, which is a critical product when to be used during nuclear attacks. We continue to produce, in terms of volume, we produce 48 million drugs packs per war, just war. In terms of gross, in terms of consumption, ampoule production went up 21% versus pre-war status. Infusion solutions plus 44%. At the same time, we are a responsible company, and just during 2022, we paid more than 200 million hryvnias as a taxes to the state, and we are also actively involved in the donation project. During the first days of war, we've been supplying all hospitals across Ukraine, both reaching from Mariupol, Kharkiv, Kyiv, Mykolaiv, Zaporizhia, with medical products free of charge. We also donated potassium iodide in the big volume, more than 6 million dosage to Ministry of Healthcare. In total value of donation is more than 115 million Ukrainian hryvnias. We focus on the strategic products, and this is important because we are in the war, and products like atropine, platifilin, and potassium iodide, it's a critical products for against chemical attacks and against nuclear attacks. And providing the necessary supply and the necessary volume and the capacity become very critical these days. Important for our European colleagues. There's very few plants in Europe who has the capacity of the size of Darnice, and we are ready and committed to ramp up production of, for example, potassium iodide, including for the need of Eastern Europe. And several negotiations are now taking place with our neighboring countries who are actively supporting us, taking into account the risk of nuclear attacks from Russia. We reached the manufacturing capacity to the pre-war level, which is extremely challenging in the given circumstances. We also, during the war, received Australian GMP certification, and we launched many initiatives for example, free of charge call center for the patients who are searching for different medical products or the drugs across the country. And just to highlight in terms of the areas of partnership with the European Union, take into account that we have a lot of EU friends here on the call. First, we really need an exceptional market access for Ukrainian products for 7 million refugees in EU. There is a common products which people used to have. Accessing to this product is currently limited for majority of this country, in majority of these countries. People have to go through the process of getting the visiting doctors, getting prescription, and very often they will not have access to the similar products that they had in Ukraine or the similar dosage forms. Having an access on the temporary basis for these people is critical, and we're looking forward for European Union to look into the solution that would allow this to happen. Another area is recognizing of Ukrainian marketing authorization in EU. There's been long-term discussion, which is currently in the Brussels. We're really looking forward that there will be symmetrical response to recognizing Ukrainian production facilities with the proper GMP certification of Ukrainian production facilities. We are EU certified. Our colleagues in the industry are EU certified, but the process of accessing EU market extremely cumbersome, and this creates a lot of obstacles for Ukrainian. We need to highlight Ukrainian pharmaceutical industry give employment to a lot of people. It's a taxes paid in the country, and it's significant more importance to support the industry through the economic terms and frameworks. Another area which is, I believe there is a lot of opportunities, is nearshoring production capacity for EU governments and companies. This is the area which is currently explored by many governments, and we've been doing this during the COVID-19 situation for several governments. And we believe this is the area where we can scale up. Once again, I would like to mention this is direct support to Ukrainian economy. Finally, take into account there's a lot of humanitarian aid support organization. We would highly encourage to synchronize medical and humanitarian needs of Ukraine with the Ministry of Healthcare. We experience situation which is sometimes not very fortunate, where drugs being supplied with expiry date 2019. We had situations where drugs being supplied in blisters, cut in pieces, and supplied in transparent packs. Ministry of Healthcare of Ukraine have clear understanding of the needs of Ukrainian hospitals, of the Ukrainian industry, in the Ukrainian market, Ukrainian patients. They've been collecting needs on the daily basis. There is a portal being available, which has just been announced by the Ministry of Healthcare, where it clearly indicates what are the needs of Ukrainian medical industry. And I think that supplying everything that's available in the world for Ukraine is not the best. Why? Because it's only partially address the needs of Ukrainian people. Thank you.
Thank you a lot. Thank you a lot, Dmitro. And for the next presentation, I want to give the floor to Medical Clinic Network Dobrobut. And I want to mention that this is one of the biggest clinics in Ukraine, and the network clinics in Ukraine, and more than 20 medical clinics all over Ukraine they have right now. And I know that some surgical operations made for free of charge by this clinic, is working with the different foundations and charity organizations. And so please take your floor and give us some more information regarding your activity.
Good afternoon, dear colleagues. Thank you for this opportunity to speak out about our company and about the challenges that we've faced during this over 100 days. Of course, Medical Network Dobrobut is one of the largest private-owned limited liability companies that actually is a network of outpatient and inpatient clinics in Kyiv and in Kyiv region. We've got 17 locations in Kyiv and Kyiv region, including Irpin and Brovary. And also we have newly opened outpatient clinics in Lviv and in Ivano-Frankivsk. And my presentation will be actually about the social responsibility of medical infrastructure and medical business during the martial law. Of course, when your business is a part of critical infrastructure, you cannot step aside and leave the population, leave your patients without critical care, without critical, without providing them with healthcare and with medical help that is so needed, especially in times of first days of war. So actually the decision was taken by our clinic even before the full-scale invasion, that our main hospital that is located on Sevastopolska Square in Kyiv will remain open and will provide the critical care to those who are injured, wounded, or had other kind of injuries related to military actions, and also other critical care that is needed for the population as well. Actually, our outpatient clinics were closed due to the safety reasons and due to the need for our employees to evacuate their families, evacuate their kids. And actually, the social responsibility of such a kind of a company can be divided in two areas, one of which is responsibility for own employees, for those people who work for the company, and also the responsibility for people who are consumers of our services, actually medical services, so for our patients. From the first day of, sorry, I have to, okay. So from the February 24th, as I've mentioned before, our main hospital remained opened, and we announced that we will provide the critical care, the emergency care, free of charge. We also gave away 10 our ambulance cars for the needs of Ukrainian military forces for medical evacuation in Kyiv region and in other regions where the active front line was moving towards us. So first steps were taken is to reorganize and reorientate the actions of our charity fund. So our charity foundation that was founded in June 2021 was oriented for education projects and for cardiac surgery help for kids. However, from the March 1st, we organized the raising of funds to provide this critical care to Ukrainian defenders and to people injured actually through the charity foundation. And of course, in the middle of March, our internal resources as a company were exhausted because we paid salaries to most of the employees and tried to provide more care about our employees as well. And we actually managed to find this cooperation with international foreign charity funds such as Direct Relief and International Medical Corps, and also Ukrainian fund Tabletочки, who became our partners. And of course, the urgent hospitalizations and planned operations in our hospitals remained free of charge for the patients. We've also managed to open our outpatient clinic in Irpin after it was deoccupied. And it was one of the medical facilities that were available for the population of Irpin, Bucha, and Hostomel, where people could receive both the medical care and psychological care. Our expert, our psychologists were working with those victims of atrocities in Irpin, in Bucha, and in Hostomel. And we also managed to open our palliative care unit, thankfully to the Tabletочки Foundation, where people who were left alone with their serious diseases could receive help from the palliative, actually help even to live this life in dignity. So these are the main results that our Dobrobit Foundation has received over this 3 months. And our key results for April, thankfully to Direct Relief Foundation, actually you can see that most of the people who needed this critical care, who needed ambulatory help, could receive it free of charge. We also opened 2 clinics in Ivano-Frankivsk and in Lviv because, of course, a lot of people who had to flee and who stayed in the western part of Ukraine needed the outpatient care and such routine care as vaccination, as control of the chronic diseases, etc., etc. They actually needed this help, and they needed to be supported. We actually wanted to demonstrate that people are not left alone with their problems, and we also wanted to support those cities who were accepting the internally replaced people, because it was also the challenge for their infrastructure. And of course, our another mission was to support our employees who were evacuated as well to the western cities. So we provided the jobs for them in the newly opened outpatient clinics. We are still open to any kind of cooperation in providing different kinds of care free of charge for our patients, because it actually helps us to make medical care more available to vulnerable groups and to those patients who cannot cover their treatment by themselves or by insurance companies. So actually, this is kind of first experience in Ukraine when a big private-owned company cooperates with charity foundations and with other donors to provide accessible medical services for the population, regardless of their ability to pay. Thank you so much for your attention, and we invite everyone to cooperate, actually, as I can agree with Mr. Shimkiv that the main challenge for us is to remain open and to provide people with jobs, to pay taxes, and to make our economy of Ukraine alive. So yeah, it's kind of main challenges for business in general.
Thank you a lot. I think that we can be proud that such big companies support us, support Ukrainians, support civilians, support our people in such difficult period and such difficult time, because everybody knows that it's rather expensive to have the surgical operation or some surgical support. Also, I want to ask you, dear colleagues, stay your contacts in our chat, because we need to communicate. We need to make these events more practical, just to have some typical results after it. So thank you a lot, and we need to continue. And the next speaker is Olga Bezugla, Dietian Clinic. Dr. Bezugla, rather interesting topic. Please take your floor, Olga. Olga, are you here? Are you with us? I saw you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Hi, hello.
Yeah, just 1 second. I want to share my yeah, we can start. Dear colleagues, thank you very much for such a good opportunity to present our work. My name is Olga Bezugla. I'm doctor dietitian, clinical dietitian, PhD therapist, and I owner of dietitian clinic where we treat by food. Yeah, it's very important situation, because as a PhD in public health, I'm directly understand that primary prevention, secondary prevention, tertiary prevention is very important for economical indicators of healthcare system, for indicators of health, for prevention, morbidity, mortality, and when we use directly medical approach, as I write, no diet, no hunger, no some kind of restrictive diet, we prevent many situations, many disease, and many cases. Actually, a little bit introduction. What exactly? Yes, dietetics very important, and it's science. A lot of situation collaborate with nutritionists without medical educations. Yeah, and my clinic presents exactly medical approach to any situation of medical condition. If we start to discuss, for example, what kind of situation we treat, so we provide a nutrition service for pregnant, for lactation women. We provided nutrition service for dermatology disease, patient with therapeutic disease, with food intolerance, endocrine disease, cardiovascular disease, gynecological disease, nutrition for patient after bariatric surgery, and oncodietology. Also, one part is selection nutrition for weight correction, balance of weight correction, program for weight gain, and sport dietetics. In our center works doctors, and we work with the patient using complex direction. So in our clinic works endocrinology doctor, gastroenterology doctor, psychiatric, or also dietitian, clinical nutrition. So first of all, we try to decide, try to understand why patient have problem with disease, or maybe patient have some medical condition, medical disease. And in difficult situation for us was to combine what kind of medical recommendation we have to do for patient with comorbid situation, when we have to lose weight, when we have to recommend some kind of diet because of dermatology disease, and in the situation we find also food intolerance, lactose intolerance, and a lot of situation, and it's takes for us very difficult decision for nutrition, for everything like this. In the beginning of war, we start work with special recommendation. We prepare, we understand that a lot of population in Ukraine need more information, what to eat if you don't have electricity, what to eat if you don't have enough good, for example, sources of protein, something like this. And we provided free social telegram bot, Nutrition During a War. It was collaboration with doctors, with psychiatric consultation. It was collaboration with specialized of food safety. Yeah, it was also collaboration with what kind of, for example, vitamins do you need, which disease very important for you, what kind of diet you can use if you have any medical condition. So for preparing this project, it takes us about 1.5 months. But it was good results. All information was free. We collect all information in which food we can find which one of vitamins, nutrients, micronutrients. We study a lot of information about nutrition after emergency, after war in Afghanistan, in many countries, what kind of problem, what kind of food safety our patients should exactly be interested in. And we try to provide the social condition as much as we can for more better understanding, and try to prevent some kind of vitamin deficiency and situation with complication of chronic disease, first of all. Yes, by using the diet. If I will explain more directly, for example, patient who came to our clinic, they first of all have to do some kind of laboratory test. This laboratory test can help us give more directly dietary nutritional recommendations. So first of all, we see here carbohydrates metabolize, lipid metabolize, protein, vitamin deficits, and how does all hormones works. Yeah, then also a consultation usually includes general information about nutritional programs. Yeah, also our patient can take communication with doctor, with nutrition, and follow a plan of follow-up examination. All recommendation of doctors of our clinic consist medical recommendation and nutritional recommendation. If patient have some kind of comorbid pathology, it can be a cardiovascular disease. Our recommendation can include like DASH diet or some kind of international recommendation, how patient can choose some kind of food to reduce, for example, to reduce weight, to reduce level of cholesterol, to live longer, yeah, to prevent chronic disease or complication of chronic disease. And actually, as I said, we work with all medical conditions. And for us, very important to work with medical centers, because actually providing good nutrition service, we really can change indicators of morbidity or indicators of mortality of such a big situation with cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and a lot of non-infection disease, what is very high in all world. And I'm very grateful for this possibility to present our clinic, our social activities, and I will be able to for any news and any collaboration. Thank you very much.
Thank you a lot. Please take your contact in our chat just for future cooperation. So the next speaker will be Titnyuk Vasil, Fito Azov. Please take your floor, Vasil. You can start your presentation. Mm-hmm. So we have no speaker, yeah, right now. Okay, so we will try to make our next presentation. Duamed Clinic. Or I'm not right, Duamed Company, sorry. Hello. Do we have the next speaker? No, okay. So maybe was something wrong with the connection. So IQMed Clinic.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, sure. I will try to share my screen right now. This will stop other screen sharing. Okay, and can you hear, can you see my, no, not yet.
No, not yet.
Just a moment. Now you should see my screen. Hello. So thank you everybody for giving this possibility to have this communication, because we are now from the COVID time passed to the situation of war, and we are a little bit used to online presentation. I would prefer anyway to have a face-to-face meeting, but it is like this. So I'm a psychiatrist and psychotherapist, currently running a private clinic, AQMed, and I have another founder of another company. What is primary focus of business? Clinical trials. As you can see, I'm a principal investigator in clinical trials, and I have both these experiences. I would like to focus now on IQMed clinic. It's a mid-size, in sense of Lviv. We are located in Lviv. It's a mid-size ambulatory clinic. We just started our operations in 2001, and I will present in next slides the main goals and sorry. So we are consist of 230 meters, 7 consulting rooms, some examinations, units, and so on and so on. You can see it on the slide. I will not literally read it through. A kind of services medical, from cardiology to psychiatry and labs, as usual, nothing special. What is it? What is our mission? Our mission is try to save people's health and try to stay people healthy. Yes, everyone knows that it is quite an issue to make yourself aware that you need a treatment and to push yourself to go to the doctor. And there are a lot of people that are quite busy, and we are focused to help the busy people to stay healthy. And there are some principles important for us. I describe it like here: to understand and explain. It means that we need to understand patient's condition. It's every doctor tries to do it, but what is unmet need, I would say, to explain to the patient what consequences he had, what lifestyles he need to change, and how to understand what is written in the medical document. As I have some MBA education, I understand that current medicine needs to be more digital. So we need to measure somehow the result of treatment, and we try to implement a well-known management approach that calls, for example, Deming cycle: plan, do, check, and adjust for our treatments. But let's go. What's we are doing now, and what is next for us? What kind of cooperation we do seek? First, we are now launching the outsourced services in cardiology. We are ready to do it for partners in Europe if someone is interested, because we have a very strong cardiology group, and we can do some evaluations distant for distant clinics. And if you will have the interest in to cooperate with us, please let us know. There will be contacts. In the end of the presentation, we can discuss another services. Inbound services we are interested in is servicing to the travelers and to the English-speaking workers and to the non-Ukrainian workers of international companies in Lviv. We can do it, and you are welcome to contact as well about this. More, I have described this once. Another initiative we are implementing right now in the sense of business. We see ourselves as a local partner for European clinics for medical tourism. What does it mean for us? When the patient needs to go outside for some European or out of Ukraine clinics for treatment, they need some preliminary evaluations. They need a follow-up after they return from the medical procedure outside Ukraine. And it is good for outside partners, for European or other rest of the world partners, to have a local partner to have the constant results from evaluations and direct doctor-to-doctor communication, not involving, in some cases, the patient, to have the correct medical information. If the patient is on the schedule of treatment, if he is compliant, if everything goes as it was planned, and we can provide this support for such kind of treatments. What we a little bit more comments about outsourced services I already told, and so that's what I already told. Yes. Where are we now in sense of our humanitarian and marital law situation? What we done? We currently understanding that we need to operate to give the medical services, and the people relocated to live with a huge amount of people, 100,000, and most of them are away from their usual medical services, and we have employed few relocated persons. Even in this situation, it wasn't a hard decision for us, but we have up to 6 persons, 4 of them are doctors from other regions of Ukraine employed. And now we are aware that for the patient, for the population, for the people that are relocated temporarily or for long stay in Lviv region, they need a GP, general practitioner services, and we hired additional doctor who is also relocated, and we opened additional possibility to give this state guaranteed GP services for such kind of peoples. But what we know, we explored that when the first weeks we were ready to work absolutely free of charge. Now we cannot do it, certainly, but no one comes. And we explored this, and we had some talks with humanitarian already dealing in Lviv's organization, and we need to go to the patient. Patients are a little bit freezed. They are not ready to move around. They are in a stress situation, and we need to go to them and to prevent them from emergencies. And we developed a screening day program, not yet implemented because it needs a lot of resources. We just do a screening of screening days, first attempts. What is it about? It's we will need to move to the centers, refugee centers, to the shelters, to the places where these people are right now, and to do this rapid check for cardiology problems, for psychiatric problems, stress-related problems, sleep disturbances, and some other problems, medical problems that may cause emergencies if we will not introduce some help to them. But we cannot, we have learned it, we cannot wait, sit here and wait for when they come, even if we will do it free of charge. And as due to this situation, and the second initiative is we are seeking co-financing for covering partial expenses for these relocated people. Why we? Why not the communal or state medicine? Currently, in the state hospitals and communal hospitals, there is a huge overload and chaotic content of what is going on in total. Every day something else. Processes are broken, processes are new. We just need to support doctors as well, to give them work, and we are now seeking for this kind of cooperation. We have already applied one application form to one humanitarian foundation, but still waiting a response. And we need now, what we lose with is time, because people every day in this shelter, they are worsening. They have heart attacks. They have some decompensation of chronic diseases, and they are flowing to the state hospital that are overloaded. So to stop this we right now need we are seeking this partners for humanitarian part of our initiative. So if someone will be interesting or will be able to help us to contact through to the such organization, we will be very, very grateful if you will contact us. That's about IQMED, the current position. Another company is UAIM. UAIM is a site management organization, and we have a definite a packet of services, both for clinical investigator sites, local sites, and for sponsors. I will explain it in further slides. So UAIM we understand as to help the sponsors and clinical sites to reach the aim to reach the aim of good result in clinical study. The problem is why we need an SMO. It's a little bit unusual kind of organization, not only in Ukraine, but in worldwide. Still not very clear what is it, SMO. But in clinical trials, teams are built from medical workers, but mostly more than 50 maybe % of workload is non-medical activities, is operational activities that is not connected with medicine, and it lacks this competences in current clinical investigator teams. And we are doing some study coordinating, data entry and management. And currently, when we are on lockdown, we can do the remote SDV on-site source data verification instead of monitors or sponsor representatives that are away and cannot travel to Lviv and region. Home visit teams, it's a new what we need to do, and we are seeking some cooperation as well. That I already explained this slide. Additional, what I want to say that we as an SMO, we are giving some supervision to sites in our network. And we are giving SOPs, standard operational procedures, to make the result more predictable and to align techniques and standards. And I see this as one of the main missions to give and instruments that helps to give the more clear result and better data quality for in clinical trials. As I have already told, so that's basic services of UAIM that we can provide, and some of them are providing. Because remote SDV is still not, that's here we are introducing, we are open for cooperation. And for sponsors, additional services for sponsors, it's not as typical SMO function, but as I have more than 16 years of experience in clinical trials, including first phase clinical trials, we are do the operational check of clinical protocols, identifying possible protocol deviations in sense of conflict of operational procedures versus clinical, and it's always there are always such kind of, and we are doing this work also for clinical sponsors. What else? I'm a little bit out of schedule, yes. So if you interested in some of this kind of services of IQMED or UAIM, or if you have any contacts for us that will help us to enter this humanitarian program as not as soon as possible, but we need it right now, tomorrow. Yes, not tomorrow, but yesterday. Please contact me, any kind of contact, and we will discuss the further cooperation, and we will try to help each other in sense of business, and try to help here locally persons who are allocated, and the old medical system of Lviv that is overloaded. So please do contact me. Thank you very much for attention.
Thank you a lot. Thank you a lot. And to be rather useful, I want to send you right now in chat the information regarding this cluster collaboration platform that we have already presented, and you can put this information, put the needs or just proposition from your side in a collaboration there, and we will try to find some opportunities to communicate, to cooperate for your company. So
yes, thank you very much. Very grateful for this possibility. So I will write in the chat my contacts as well. And
yeah, for sure.
Yes, and please contact me directly or on emails to discuss if you are interested in anything, as I told. Thank you very much, dear colleagues.
Thank you. And the next company, Insure LLC, and Olesya Halecka. Please take your floor. Hello.
Hello. Good morning. I take the presentation. Yes. Hello, my name is Olesya Halecka. I am CCO, Chief Commercial Officer by Insure LLC. The company signs in year 2012, and we have three main areas of activity: research and development, R&D, manufacturing and distribution for devices, various devices, and devices for health. We are located in Lviv, in Ukraine, and I and my husband, Olesya and Valentin Halecki, are founders of the company. Our devices combine different types of therapy. This is bioresonance therapy using frequency and resonance, quantum therapy, light and color therapy, infrared effect, low frequency physiotherapy, current treatment, low intensity laser therapy, and other methods. In slide, you can see our devices designed and manufactured by our company. Our technologies are patent and product by copyright. We have an until model patent and a copyright certificate for the work. Our production is certified and has technical specification, and we are certified according to the ISO system, have received a certificate on compliance with CA standards. In slide, this is other CA standard certificate, and our documents you can see too in our website. We are currently actively developing and creating devices for rehabilitation, wound healthing, boosting activity and vitality focused on the military. There will be small devices such as electronic tablets, which through electromagnetic influence and oscillations with affects the human body, activating the body. Today, we enter foreign markets and have
agreements to supply our products to Europe and Asia. We plan to further expand export, and we already work with many countries, Europe, South Korea, India, and Singapore. We are looking for partners and distributors to enter international markets, looking for new opportunities for export and scaling. If you have a request to create a device for recovery, we can implement your idea and create it from scratch, and we can manufacture devices, including under your brand. This is our contacts. I can write our contacts in the chat, and I will be glad to talk personally with you about joint cooperation. Thank you a lot for your attention.
Thank you. Thank you. And the last company who need to make a presentation in our schedule, it's Andrea Ltd. Please take your floor. Marian Mrzewska.
Good afternoon, Dobry dzień. My name is Marian Mrzewska. I am the Senior Expert Executive of Andreal, GST trademark. We are manufacturers of plastic security seals, manufacturer based in Ukraine. We have not stopped our activity despite their current active war actions that we have now. Let me share my screen in order to share my presentation. Okay. So everybody is seeing my screen. Is all is okay?
Yes. Yes. That's it.
We are a little bit far from exactly pharmaceutical or medical business, but our product is capable to be used in all possible spheres where it must be where security must be present and where the commercial losses must be present as well. And that's why I decided also to participate in this forum at this meeting to represent our product, and probably it will be also necessary and useful for the companies from pharmaceutical and medical sphere globally, because in Ukraine we already have customers from pharmaceutical business who use our seals. A little bit about our company. So GST Group, it is a family business. It was settled in 1998, and we have our own manufacturer, and we do export activities since 2001. We have patented products. A little bit more about what is exactly the security seal. Security seal is the element, as you, for example, can see on the picture, that shows like an indicator that, for example, on this truck, these oil cylinders, they have not been opened and nobody have taken the fuel because of this, the integrity of the attached seal. And if to talk about the use of the seals in their pharmaceutical and medical sphere, in this case, it could be used also on the bags with the goods if the company is manufacturer and they do transporting of their goods, sealing of containers with their goods, sealing of the trucks if the company is sending the goods from one point to another user, like you could see on the truck is sealed with our seal. Also, the companies who purchase our goods, they also put labels on the doors of the warehouses, on the safes, and like you can see here on the this slide. And some pharmacies or drugstores, They also use security seals on the ATM cashbacks, as on the left side on this slide. Especially it's important for the drugstores because they are dealing with the cash, so they have this procedure, and in order this process could be secured, we recommend security seals. We do export to 80 countries globally, but despite this, we are interested in widespreading our activities, and we would be really happy if in world people would know more about our products, and we would have more partners. This is my contacts, Marian Mirziewska, my email, my cell phone, and our website, where is written more detailedly about the product, the spheres of use with pictures and other useful information. I'm saying thank you for their attention. And I would like to finish my speech if you do not have any questions.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you a lot. So we have finished our presentation panel, speech panel. And now I want to make the announce for open discussion session with participation of the representatives of the Ukrainian companies and the European companies. So if you have any questions, any comments, any propositions for us and for our partners, for our clients, please take a floor, and maybe you have some additional information. Colleagues, we have 5 minutes just to discuss. No discussion. Yeah, today we have no discussion. It's rather good. It's rather good. So I think that we have
everyone tired because it's long.
Yeah, it took more time than we thought, but right now I think that it was quite good and quite great opportunity to share the contact, to share the information regarding the companies who participate today. So dear guests, dear colleagues, dear companies, I'm really thank you for your participation in this event. I think that this event was rather important for us. I think that we need to make such communication platform more often, but today we have the possibility to communicate, to present our companies, to present the needs of the Ukrainian companies, of the Ukrainians, and to make some communication platform. To communicate with the governmental organization, to communicate with foundation, with the private companies, with the medical companies. So I think that today we have the great opportunity to share this information with all participants, and I wish you a great day. I wish you to get some more than to get some more for cooperate with the international companies from this event. And thank you a lot. Thank you a lot for participation. Thank you a lot for your time. Thank you a lot for your information. Have a nice day. And I think that our meeting needs to be closed. So thank you.
Thank you. And please pay attention for our next event in the frame of promotion campaign, Cooperate with Ukraine. And the next event will be in a week on the 15th of June.
So also I want to make some like results. Today we will make such kinds of table just with the data of all participants who participate in this event, and we will share it with our international partners and with you, just to make some kinds of cooperation between those companies who participate today. So thank you a lot. Thank you a lot. Have a nice day. Have a great day. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Okay.